I even saved an extra 20% and got Kohl's cash. So I guess you could say I got everything just in the nick of time. Get it? Flex Styles. Ends December 24th. Price valid on green fit the first of 3 only. Toys and Fitbit. Coupons do not apply. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
The city of Vacaville has been allocated more than $12 million through the American Rescue Plan Act. The city council and staff are seeking input from Vacaville residents on how the funds should be spent. The funds can be spent in several areas, like improving water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure, or to address negative economic impacts caused by the pandemic. Please take this survey on how the city should spend its $12 million ARPA relief funding allocation. Go to cityofvacaville.com. cityofvacaville.com.
More than ever.
Oh no, I just have to make the coffee.
Save up to $1,000 over the holidays on your new comfortable mattress at Mancini Sleep World. Visit sleepworld.com for details.
Everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching grandma how to video call. And teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. And your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network specific restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Last-minute gifts for the whole family start at $3, including new arrivals. Get gifts for everyone on your list at Old Navy now. Valid 12/18 to 12/24 in stores. Select styles only.
Spring, and we love helping you stretch every dollar to make the very most of the season. This week, get Rayleigh's Hickory Smoked, Honey-Cured, Spiral Sliced, Whole or Half Hams for only $1.97 a pound. And pick up a delicious Golden Pineapple for just $1.97 each. Save even more time and money with in-store services like complimentary knife sharpening, plus get free marinades with any meat purchase at your neighborhood Rayleigh's and Bel Air.
CBS 13 brings you non-stop local reporting every weeknight from 4 to 6:30. Non-stop breaking news.
This car is blowing up right behind you.
In-depth reporting.
Are we calling Curtis Ming?
CBS 13 investigative reporter Julie Watson.
With a team that goes the distance.
Right now, we're in the thick of it.
The CBS 13 News. Getting answers. Weeknights from 4 to 6:30. Followed by the CBS Evening News.
When you're high, you not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high. Get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
We'll have partly cloudy.
Grab last-minute gifts for everyone right now at Old Navy from just $3. Get amazing gifts, including new arrivals, starting at just $3. There's only a few days until Christmas. Hurry to Old Navy at OldNavy.com. That's styles only.
Hi, this is Richard Morelos of JJM Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 916-758-8660. That's 916-758-8660. I can pay cash and close fast. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and any location. I am not a realtor or associated with a realty company. I am a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind-in-payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junky houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 916-758-8660. That's 916-758-8660.
Make you completely comfortable in your home. Get an honest assessment at foxfamilyhvac.com.
Best, honest and friendly. Fox Family Heating and Air.
For the special moments and memorable foods that the holidays bring. And we love helping you stretch every dollar to make the very most of the season. This week, get Rayleigh's Hickory Smoked, Honey-Cured, Spiral Sliced, Whole or Half Hams for only $1.97 a pound. And pick up a delicious Golden Pineapple for just $1.97 each. Save even more time and money with in-store services like complimentary knife sharpening, plus get free marinades with any meat purchase at your neighborhood Rayleigh's and Bel Air.
Let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton of Big C Sports. This is Charlton of Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe. For the people who love sports, really do appreciate the feedback coming with Big C Sports all around the world. Ho, ho, ho! someone in a Santa suit gave me the middle finger salute today in traffic. I said, Santa, it's not that serious, man. It's not that serious. It's all fair in Leavenworth on a beautiful Christmas Eve, December the 24th, 2021. Rondo Deportes, Bonjour, de Vidi Vidi Vici. As we say, welcome to the show. You can follow Big C Sports all around the world on 20 podcast applications. Started with one with Salem Media, now 20 podcast applications all around the universe. It's all fair and Leavenworth. Really do appreciate the way things are going with Big C Sports. You can follow Big C Sports on Google Podcasts, Alexa Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Speaker Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. You can follow Big C Sports on iHeartRadio Podcasts, Castbox Podcasts, Deezer Podcasts, Podcast Addict, and also Pod Chaser. And based on that, I'm going to catch my breath. I'm going to chase my breath. Give me some praise for learning to catch my breath. You try counting to 10. Don't laugh. You try it. Just try it. Don't laugh. Just try it. Santa Claus gave me the middle finger. Isn't that something? Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You can also follow Big C Sports on Gio Savant Podcast out of London, England, Podtail Podcast, YouTube Podcast, Hubhopper, Stitcher, Radio Line, Repot Podcast, Luminary Podcast, Listen Notes, and also Podcast-wise, give that some praise. I said give it some praise. You can follow Big C Sports on 20 podcast applications all over the universe. And Santa gave me the middle finger. I think he was just saying hi, and I didn't have all my vision correct, so maybe I only saw one finger sticking up. I'm sure he had more than one. I said, come on, Santa, I know it's COVID, and people have lost their freaking minds, but still, it's Christmas, man. You can also follow Big C Sports Podcast on Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. Give that some praise. 4 TV platforms. Big C Sports is streaming. Looking for a lot of good things to happen in 2022. It's all fair and Leavenworth. And what I love saying with Big C Sports Podcast, as I say, let's get ready to rumble. I love paying homage to my family legacy. And my great-grandmother, Mamo, she was a wonderful great-grandmother. Really do appreciate everything I learned from her and keeping the family strong together. My great-grandfather, Pop, he was a former Negro League baseball player known for making the best moonshine in the history of the universe. Known for saying, boys, get out of that barn. Really do. Appreciate that. And my grandmother, Madia, just a wonderful person to see her. Can look at people and tell you everything about them. Really do appreciate her gifts. My grandfather, Hezekiah, another wonderful person. My beautiful mother started a Head Start program in Northern California and helped win this Little League Championship of the universe. Give that some praise. I've said a Head Start program and the Little League Championship. And the only mother, the only woman in the Little League, and we won the league championship. Isn't that something? Really do appreciate that. Always saying rise and shine. And then on my father's side, my grandfather, Albert Curry, was a pastor, had 2 churches in Oakland, California. Also built the 3rd one in Central California, had 2 service stations in Oakland, California. And my grandmother, called her Alberta Curry, helped my grandfather with the churches and also with these service stations. Really do appreciate all of her wisdom. And my father, retired Air Force fighter pilot and chief mechanic, making sure that planes could fly high so we can all stay safe at night. And then my brother Todd, with his bombastic voice, sound like lightning when Todd would speak. Really do appreciate that. My handsome son Malcolm knows NBA stats upside, inside out, all fair and level word. Send some information on NBA stats. And my beautiful daughter Daisy also would send me, help me set up events when coaches came to the West Coast. And then Big C with all his wealth of knowledge. Really do appreciate everything that's growing with Big C Sports. Give it all praise. Love giving that praise as we rise and shine. You know, one of my favorite things, my grandfather used to say it when he had a lot of that shine in his system. He would say, let's get ready to rumble. Usually he had the moonshine going. I do the show ESPY-nominated Big C Sports by Disney Corporation. Really do appreciate that. No scripts, no 3-way teleprompters, no producer in my ear. I do the show with my higher self. I do the best I can to produce the show. I direct the topics. I broadcast the show. And then I do all of the sound effects that's provided by the platform. Really do appreciate that. Sound effects are good, and they make things laughable, if that makes sense to you. I still can't believe that Santa gave me the middle finger salute today. He said, Merry Christmas. Oh, man, maybe I just didn't see all the other hands that he put up. But if you've ever seen Santa Claus, come on, that's not nice, Santa. Also, the commercials are done by the agency out of New York City. I do the stats. And the play-by-play, as you'll hear over the holiday weekend, Steph Curry for 3! Down there playing the Phoenix Suns over the weekend. Got to get those games out. COVID what? COVID who? Got to get a game going. It's funny how sports is rolling on. But then I update the show. It goes out to 20 podcast applications all over the world. Started Big C Sports in September 12th, 2015 at Salem Media. Never missed a show. In fact, Salem Media, our show, it done so well, they even started broadcasting Monday Night Football at Salem Media. Because of Big C Sports, I still have that letter from the station manager. Really do appreciate that. And then things happen as they often do in life. And I really do appreciate going strong with Big C Sports now in 20 podcast applications. Started with one back in 2015. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is Genesis 13:15. It says, "For all the land that thou seest will I give you, and thy seed forever." In the book of James, chapter 4, verse 2 said, "We have not because we ask not." So I want to give the Bible some praise. If you want something, just ask. It might be yes, it might be no. You may even get Santa Claus to give you the middle finger salute. I don't believe that was really Santa, because Santa drives a sled. He's flying around. He's not driving an SUV with one finger held up high in the sky. Man, life is funny. It's the holidays. Hello to the holidays. Give the holidays some praise. Oh, Santa, that's not nice. He knows when you've been sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. So you better be good for goodness sake. That Santa was not nice. That's Santa. Oh, Lord have mercy. Kids are watching Santa. Come on, man. I do want to say, for all the people who have given their time and service to this country, my father was a veteran. My grandfather was a veteran. Both of my grandfathers were veterans. And my father was a retired, actually, Air Force. And really do appreciate the service. I have an older brother who was in the Army, and really do appreciate all of his service. And a nephew that's a former Marine. And so then many friends who have also been a part of the Navy. So I really love paying homage to our military veterans. And a friend of mine, he was also a Marine, deals with PTSD and has to function no matter what's going on. But he knows how tough it was. He's been shot, stabbed, everything. And some people, they just say, hey, thank you for your service. But I really want to thank my friend Damien. The Veterans Crisis Hotline is there for people who need help. A lot of people going through a lot of garbage with COVID. Some people, like in Star Trek, is Spock. Have you lost your freaking mind? Santa Claus gave me the middle finger salute. Oh, man. That's not nice, Santa. But you know anybody going through issues, the Veterans Crisis Hotline, pick up the phone. And it's not just for veterans. It's for anybody who needs a little checkup from the neck up. 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. Or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. And they will stand on their head to make sure you get some help. Also, if you're online, just simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net. You can help our veterans get some help. And I want to say, give that some praise. I say, give the Veterans Hotline some praise. That's our first responders. A lot of people going through issues, especially in COVID. I also want to say thank you to Xfinity Comcast TV and Comcast Spotlight Effect TV for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Give that some praise, just like in Genesis 1:3. God said, "Let there be light." Open your cell phones and say play. Big C Sports Podcast. There was a time it wasn't there, and now it's all over the world. Really do appreciate the coming of a lot of great things for 2022. And you know, Santa, I guess asking for that $10 billion in funding might be on pause. Hopefully not. I know it's coming, Santa. Oh, Santa's all funny. For those of you who follow real estate, I love being affiliated with ValleyHomesWeekly.com. They have a real estate show that features real estate properties. Also, if you're interested in what's going on in real estate in your neck of the woods, go to the NationalRealEstatePost.com. That's the NationalRealEstatePost.com. If you're looking at mortgages in your neck of the woods, go to MortgageDailyNews.com. That's MortgageDailyNews.com. Also launching with the Big C team in 2022, unsecured credit based on business and also personal, up to from $10,000 to $400,000 in cash. You can get that through the Big C team to buy houses, to do whatever you got to do to start business. You just got to qualify, and you want to find out more, 800-772-8624. That's 800-772-8624, and give that some praise. I said, give that praise. What a wonderful Christmas. If you're able to know your name, it's a good Christmas. Outside of that, you're on your own. It's all fair, never work. Really do appreciate a lot of things that are happening. Also, for people that want to bet, obviously, they've canceled so many airlines around the country, actually around the world. I know Lufthansa's put some planes on pause, canceled some flights because of the growing threat of the new coronavirus, I guess the Omicron virus. And, it's a real deal. Hawaii canceled their football game, their bowl game. They said they don't want to play. And Texas A&M, they canceled their Gator Bowl against I think it was Wake Forest. They canceled that game because too many players on the team have come down with COVID-19, the new virus, the new variant, I believe Omicron. And, I don't even know what to say about it because NBA saying, so what? Adam Silver, NBA said, so. NFL saying, so what? They're going to play anyway. Fortunately, it sounds like an oxymoron to say fortunately with the new variant, but we don't have hospitals full of people the way we had back in 2020. That's the only shining light that I can see. I don't know what to say, but following sports the way I do since I was a little boy, people tend to think that athletes are bulletproof, but thank goodness we haven't had any tragedies based on COVID that I know of. Maybe there's one or two out there, but if that were the case, then I'm sure they would have already put a pause. NHL put a pause on hockey. You can't go between the United States and Canada right now, but their pause is only going to last until, I believe, Sunday. So the day after Christmas. I don't know what the thinking was. They're going to cancel hockey just for a couple of days to make it seem like you're on top of it. NBA's not canceling. They're playing games on Christmas. And then the NFL's playing games on Christmas weekend. So everybody has their own way to deal with it. You just want to make sure that you protect the elderly. They don't have the same immune system that a lot of young people that play NFL football and NBA basketball have. So everybody's on their own. I guess you got to do what makes you happy. Life's about being happy. For you guys who bet on sports, never bet more than you can afford to lose. I still got a friend out of Las Vegas calls me all the time. Hey, Carlton, how much do you have that you don't need that you can bet? I said, I need everything, man. And then he says, well, take something and put it on this game is not going to lose. He told me the Niners are going to lose last night. I said, how in the world are they going to lose? They lost to a Tennessee team that had like 8 people out. Well, Jimmy G throws 2 interceptions, should have been 3. There's a lot of shenanigans that goes on in sports. You believe that? Yes, I do believe it. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. All's fair in love and war. That game with Las Vegas was written all over it. All over it. Why not run the ball? You had success running the ball. Hey, let's have a guy throw the ball deep downfield where he's never successful. 2 interceptions. Should have been a 3rd one, and they lose. They were up 10-0 going into halftime. Coming out of halftime, it's all fair and love and war. That's why I love saying thank you to Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, 100% on this game. Sports fans, you're watching the big game. You want to eat the Big C burger? It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meat. And Jimmy G was serving up some exotic meats last night. Yeah, big skin is exotic meat. And Tennessee said thank you very much. And all the guys down in Las Vegas, what a joke. I hate that. They knew how to win the game, just run the ball. Hey, let's throw it with a guy that doesn't have success throwing deep downfield. That doesn't make any sense. But there's a lot of things going on to make sure that Vegas always wins. 49ers played on Sunday, traveled across the country. They played nearly 3,000 miles away on Thursday, and they had the lead, and somebody said, hold on, that's not the script. And then some interceptions show up. I know people don't believe in that crap, but my guys from Vegas do. Give Las Vegas some praise. Man, what a game. What a game. It was a great game, but it didn't go down the way it was supposed to. It's all fair and level war. I'm going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. When I come back, I'm going to talk about some NFL football that's coming up, Big C's thoughts, also some NBA basketball coming up as well. In the words of former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. All right, we are back for the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 20 podcast applications all over the universe. Really do appreciate that. The sports universe was humming last night. My goodness, the sign was flowing in Tennessee, and the Titans come away with a well-scripted 20-17 win over the 49ers. There was no reason for them to win that game until some phone calls were made at halftime based on my bookie friend down in Las Vegas. And I do say he knows his stuff. The Titans looked like they were washed out, and they were down in the first half. Week 16 saw no life in that offense, leading to a 10-0 deficit at the hands of the powerful San Francisco 49ers. There was gold in them their heels, but things turned around drastically in the final 2 quarters, just after, believe it or not, a couple of phone calls were made. People don't believe in that stuff, but you saw it with your own 2 eyes. A couple of phone calls made. A.J. Brown, he went into his booth, got the Superman cape on, took the game over, and carried his team on his back, and the Titans defense put the clamps on the 49ers. Man, they were rolling, allowing Tennessee to climb back into the game and get the win. And when you think about it, after head coach Mike Vrabel declared that the team was not really out of it yet, they just had to get a call from Las Vegas. I'm telling you, what we saw Thursday night, the Titans are still in the thick of things, and their team's getting healthy at the right time. Touchdown, Derrick Henry, expected back soon. This team is primed to make a run at I know they're going to win. I can't even say they're going to win the AFC South. They still have, depending on what happened with Indianapolis. But it doesn't make any sense. That game, Shanahan, he did the same thing in the Super Bowl when they lost to the Patriots. They were up 28-3 at halftime because they ran the ball well. Then he starts passing. And then he has a great running game with, Debo was amazing. Debo Samuel was amazing. Ayuk was good. They should have given George Kittle more throws. And then they come out throwing the football. Why? They threw an interception in the end zone when they were already able to kick a field goal after they had driven down the field, primarily running the ball and doing short passes. And then they come out, get a phone call from Vegas, and everything changed. I know people don't want to believe in that stuff, but it's true. Telegraphing plays based on personnel, calling runs on 2nd and long, or calling give-up plays and passing well. It just doesn't make any sense. It's kind of sticks in my craw a little bit, but I'm not biased. I just want to see teams play fair football. There's a player by the name of A.J. Brown. He's a great receiver for the Tennessee Titans. And they kept throwing them the ball. No double team by the defense for the Niners. No double team on a guy that was whipping you all night, especially the second half. He stepped up big time, 11 catches, 145 yards, and a touchdown, with most of that production coming when? After there was a phone call made from Las Vegas in the second half. I know you guys don't believe that stuff. In the second half, leading to the resurgence for the Tennessee Titans. He had catches that came on 3rd downs, the most by any player in at least 40 years. He accounted for 69% of his Titans receiving yards, and he still didn't get double coverage. Come on, Shanahan. It doesn't make any sense. How does that make sense? It doesn't make any sense. Even Bosa didn't get a sack because they were holding him like they were slow dancing. Here's a guy that's one of the top sack leaders in the NFL, and he couldn't get a holding call. He was like at a slow dance party. They were holding him so much. He ain't Armstrong. But hey, that's football. It's sour grapes, and there are a lot of grapes in the San Francisco Bay Area called wine country. So people might say, stop whining out there in Northern California. Stop whining, but give the bookies some praise from Las Vegas. They knew what they were talking about, and I want to give you guys praise. You deserve it. Hey, you guys know the house is going to keep that money. You guys up 10-0. Hold on, pump the brakes. They could have been up 13-0 or 17-0, and things went south. How do you throw an interception come out of halftime? Doesn't make any sense. Run the ball. It was working. Well, the phone call came in. We had to answer the call. So I know people don't want to believe in that. But as I say, Week 16, let's get ready to rumble. Give that some praise. Get ready for Big C's thoughts on NFL football for the Week 16 in 2021 on Christmas Eve and Christmas. Really do appreciate that. Just my opinion. I look forward to football. I love it. But last night, something was up. You could smell a rat, if that makes sense to you. Gonna go, well, hopefully they don't have any more rats to be smelled out, and 20-17 was a big rat of a game, even though supposedly football is made with pigskin. Well, we have another game for you that hopefully will be a little bit more exciting. It kicks off on Christmas. The NFL cares so much about Christmas and COVID, they're going to make sure the stadiums are packed. Airlines are canceling flights, but the stadiums will be packed. The Green Bay Packers, my goodness, what a place Lambeau Field. Cleveland Browns 7-7 at the Green Bay Packers 11-3. That's a Saturday, 4 p.m., actually 4:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox in the NFL Network. And the spread is Green Bay's favorite by 7.5. The over-under is 45 points. Now, if the Browns are going to have success against the Packers, they got to get that same phone call that the Titans made last night. Man, goodness, that stunk. Anyway, if they're going to have success against the Packers, they're going to have that same phone number to call. And while the Packers defense made a major improvement against the pass rush, their run D has been pretty shaky. That unit is averaging about 4.5 yards per rush. That's 25th in the NFL. So what do? You run the ball. Will Cleveland run it? No. My prediction is that the Packers, they have touchdown Aaron Rodgers, who might just win the MVP again. He's up for it. The guy, all he does is win. He's like DJ Khaled. All he does is win no matter what. Touchdown Aaron Rodgers. He's going to break touchdown Brett Favre's franchise passing touchdown record on the opening drive, earning his 443rd, if that makes sense to you. Remember in the movie something about marrying Brett Favre was called Brett Favre? If that makes sense to you. If he throws a second touchdown, and he will, the streak of consecutive games with multiple passing touchdowns and no interceptions will continue to tie him for the second longest such streak in the Super Bowl era. I remember talking to Aaron Rodgers as they came out to San Francisco, and he'd had that late drive with 37 seconds left to beat the 49ers. And I was asking him, since coming out of Northern California, played at Pleasant Valley High School and up in Chico area, and then went to Cal Berkeley, and now doing his thing with the Packers. What is it about him? He's not the biggest, not the strongest, not the fastest, but what makes him so accurate? And he just said muscle memory. It's not lifting weights. It's not doing all the push-ups. It's muscle memory. And you'll see how muscle memory lead him past touchdown Brett Favre. Some stats to know. Green Bay receiver Devontae Adams out of Palo Alto High School and also Fresno State needs just 4 catches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 to reach 100 receptions this season, which would be the third 100 reception season of his career. That's amazing. You're talking about Jerry Rice numbers. It would also break a tie with Sterling Sharp, the great Sterling Sharp, for the most in Packers history. So give Northern California and Devontae Adams some praise. He's going to break that record also. The guy's just an amazing receiver. So when I think about what's going on, I'm going to just say, I think for the betting people, and I'm starting to listen more when they call me and say, Carlton, I got the numbers for you. I said, how would the Niners lose to the Titans? Doesn't make any sense. They're going to run the ball, they're going to run the ball, they're going to run the ball, and throw short passes. All of Jimmy G's interceptions came on long passes. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, betting nugget, Cleveland, they're 6-14 against the spread in his past 20 road games. That already tells you they're going to lose the game, unless they get the phone call that Tennessee got last night. Man, the Browns have never played on Christmas, but the Packers have done it twice, both against the Bears. The Green Bay's most recent, and came in 2011 when it won behind 5 touchdown passes from Rodgers. So my pick in this game, because Aaron Rodgers is going to break the Brett Favre record, Devontae Adams is going to pass Sharp as far as receivers or 100-yard games with the Packers uniform on. I'm going to go Green Bay. They score a lot of points. Green Bay 34. I'm going to go with Cleveland 20. So 34-20 is my thoughts on that game. So the point spread's way off. But touchdown Aaron Rodgers is going to be rolling in this game because Cleveland, for me, just doesn't have the ability to keep up with him. Also, another big game. This is a bigger game than people might give it credit for. It's also sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meats. And last I checked, the Indianapolis Colts, a horse and a cardinal, they're exotic. The Colts are 8-6. They're playing good football. They're at Arizona 10-4. Sunday, 8:15 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on the NFL Network. And also, if you look at the spread, Arizona's -1 at home against a team coming across the country. What to watch for is how the Colts running back Jonathan Taylor does against Arizona's run defense. The Cardinals are allowing nearly 5 yards per carry, and Taylor's dropping about almost 6 yards a carry. So whether the Cardinals will have a Merry Christmas depend on how well they slow down Taylor, who's running for Player of the Year, at least as a running back. I think it's going to go to touchdown Aaron Rodgers, though. But there's 2 ways for them to do that: score early and force the Colts to throw the ball, because they'll be behind, and that way Carson Wentz will throw his interceptions the way Jimmy G did last night. I mean, come on, Niners. Why not keep running the football and throwing short passes? What do you not like about that? The Colts are going to force the Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray into at least 1 interception, and hopefully he keeps his posture up, doesn't have his head down. But for the 5th time in his past 6 games, Murray's been getting out of the pocket. Offensive line doesn't really know where he is at times, and it's led to interceptions. So hopefully if he stays in the pocket, which you know he won't, then he'll control that. This is all about Jonathan Taylor, in my opinion. If he runs the ball well, then I think Indianapolis is going to win. If they stop him and force Carson Wentz to throw the ball, then Arizona has a chance to win that game. This is something I want to bring up too, because it's intersectional games, interconference games. If you think about it, Arizona's James Conner has 14 touchdowns this season. He trails only Jonathan Taylor, who has 17. So Conner needs 2 more to tie the Cardinals' single-season record of 16 by David Johnson in 2016. And Taylor needs 1 more to tie D'Angelo Williams from 2008 for the most league-wide throughout 15 games in the past 15 seasons. Now, the playoff implications, you got to watch this. Arizona can clinch a spot this week with 7 different scenarios, but the easiest would be to just win the game. They got to win that game. They have a chance to do it if they can slow down Taylor and not have to come from behind by throwing the ball too much. That's just my opinion. So I'm going to say this. For the friends out of Las Vegas that called me and told me that the Niners would fall last night, I didn't believe them. Indianapolis is 5-1 against the spread on the road with 5 straight covers. That tells you something. I don't bet because I don't understand what phone calls are going to be made. But I am going to say that Indianapolis is going to run Jonathan Taylor down in the desert, in the dome. And Arizona is going to have Murray trying to get outside of the pocket too much. I'm going to say the Colts will win this game 27-24. I know it doesn't make any sense. How are they going to go on the road and win 27-24? Because they have the better running back. That's my opinion. And it's opinion from the guy down in Vegas that called me. It's all fair and level war. Another big game on the East Coast. The Buffalo Bills 8-6 at the New England Patriots 9-5. It's a 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. And if you believe this, New England is favored by 2.5. The over-under is 43.5 in this game. Now, there was a 14-10 win in Buffalo when New England threw the ball 3 times on the road in the cold and the wind. So how are they going to double up the points? They scored 24 points combined last time. Now they're going to be in New England. The weather's not going to be the best. But how are they going to both double the point total? Interesting. So New England quarterback Mac Jones threw just 3 passes against Buffalo in a 14-10 win early December. And it's not going to be as gusty in New England this weekend. The Patriots rushed for 222 yards in that game. And so the Bills are going to make some adjustments. And Josh Allen's going to throw the ball more. Now, Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen's going to pass, probably get 2 touchdown passes, reaching 100 for his career, and run for at least probably about 30 or 40 yards in this game against the Patriots defense. I don't think the Patriots will play as well on defense as they did the last game. I think they were exposed by Indianapolis. How do you go against Bill Belichick losing 2 in a row? It might happen. And the point spread thinks so too, because they're only favored by 2.5 at home. Something you got to know about. Patriots edge rusher Matthew Judon has 12.5 sacks this season. That's tied for 3rd most by a Patriot player since sacks became official in 1982. Andre Tippett had 18.5 in 1984 and 16.5 in 1985. So this is a game that is hard to pick because Belichick doesn't often lose 2 in a row. But the people in Las Vegas feel that he just might this time. Now, New England is 7-1 against the spread in its past 8 games. And it has covered 5 straight as a favorite. They're favored in this game. Man, I'm just going to go with Bill Belichick. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose by being with the best coach ever in the game. I'm going to go New England 28, Buffalo Bills 23 in this game. And I'm going to stick with that because that's what my gut tells me. It's all fair and love and war. And how can you go against touchdown Bill Belichick? Don't go against touchdown Bill Belichick. No way. So because there's no way, I'm just not going to go against him. I might regret that. I don't know, but I think I'm still going to go with the Patriots winning that game. Another big game is a lot bigger than what it should have been by this time of the year. But the Los Angeles Rams are 10-4 at the Minnesota Vikings 7-7. 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports. Now, the Rams are favored by 3 on the road in that dome, and the over-under is 48.5. For Minnesota running back Dalvin Cook, the NFC's leading rusher, was placed on reserve COVID-19. So go with the Rams. He's not going to be able to play against the Rams. The Rams have the 6th best run defense in the NFL, and it's holding teams to under 100 yards rushing on average. And without having to face one of the NFL's best running backs in Dalvin Cook, you don't have to worry about the run game beating up the Rams too much. But think about this now, for the betting people. Against a Vikings defense that allowed an average of 252 passing yards per game, that's 29th in the league. The Rams and favorites are going to eat all day long. first-time Pro Bowl selection, Cooper Kupp, is an amazing receiver. He's going to record his 11th consecutive game with more than 100 receiving yards. 10 games with 90-plus receiving yards is already the longest streak in NFL history. He's an amazing all-pro wide receiver. A stat to know, Vikings receiver Justin Jefferson needs 65 receiving yards to be the first player in NFL history with 1,400 yards in each of his first 2 seasons. He is the real deal, but no Dalvin Cook might make it a little bit more difficult for him. Some things to know. I'm learning what the people in the bet world think about. The Minnesota Vikings has gone over the total in 4 of its past 5 games. And I just told you, coming into this, Las Vegas already has it over-under at 48.5. So they're saying a high-scoring game. I don't see that. Not on the Vikings side. I do see that on the Rams side. But either way, I'm still going to go Rams 31, Vikings 20. It's going to be a 31-20 in my opinion. And I think the Rams they're striking right now, striking gold in California, and they're doing it in a dome, so it's not going to be in the frigid cold in Minneapolis. Here's another game that at the beginning of the season looked like it could have been a big matchup. The defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are 10-4 at the Carolina Panthers 5-9, a 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports. Now, Tampa's favored by 10. The over-under is 43. They were just shut out their last game. They got a lot of players out. So keep a very close eye on the Panthers quarterback situation. Cam Newton's going to start. How well will he play? I don't know. Sam Darnold will play also. That's Coach Matt Rule saying that after missing 5 games with a shoulder injury. Between them, they have 15 turnovers in the past 9 games. Not going to help them at all. The Bucs rank 5th in the NFL in takeaways with 25 and are tied for 5th with 37 sacks. They're going to get a couple of sacks in this game as well. With Leonard Fournette being out, the Buccaneers running back Ronald Jones II is going to rush about 100 yards in this game and a touchdown. The Panthers may have the league's second-ranked defense when it comes to yardage, but they did give up 96 yards rushing and a touchdown to Devin Singletary last week and 86 yards rushing to Mike Davis the week before. Not to mention Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook both got over 140 yards against that team. I think they kind of given up on the season. A stat to know that Cam Newton is 2-0 as a starting opposite of touchdown Tom Brady, and one of 4 quarterbacks to face Brady multiple times, including in the playoffs, and win each time. But I just told you they're also going to he's going to have to split time starting quarterback with Sam Darnold. So the Patriots, when he played for the Patriots, obviously he's a good running quarterback. They got him over here at Carolina. Something's just not right with Carolina's offense. But for the betting people, Carolina is 0-5 against the spread in the past 5 home games. They're going to lose this game. Tampa Bay 31 and Carolina 20. That's just my opinion. It's all fair and level war. I'm going to bring it to another big game. This game is sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meats? Let's say I even have to set the team yet. But the Baltimore Ravens 8-6 at the Cincinnati Bengals 8-6. I told you it's an exotic meat burger. 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on CBS Sports. Now Cincinnati's -3. The over-under is 45. Baltimore doesn't score a lot of points lately. Everybody's banged up. Lamar Jackson's banged up as well. So Baltimore is dealing with a sharp uptick in COVID-19 cases and several injuries, including one involving quarterback Lamar Jackson. Tyler Huntley's going to be the quarterback in that game. These teams have an 8-6 record, and they're trying to win the AFC North. Well, it's at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's probably going to win this game. No Superman Lamar Jackson is my opinion. Baltimore tight end Mark Andrews will set the Ravens' single-season receiving record. He has dominated the past 2 weeks, needing 140 yards to eclipse Michael Jackson's 1996 franchise mark of 1,201 receiving yards. Now, Cincinnati, they gave up 872 receiving yards to tight ends this season alone. Isn't that something? A stat to know, Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow has been sacked 44 times this season. That's the most in the NFL. And Jackson's been sacked the 3rd most, and that's 38. And he's been out of the last couple of games. So I've got to go to Las Vegas because they know something this time of year. Baltimore is 13-1 against the spread as an underdog since 2018, including 4-0 against the spread this season. But they don't have Superman Lamar Jackson, so that stat might go to 13-2 now. Because I don't know how they go on the road and beat Cincinnati when everybody's healthier in Cincinnati and COVID's ravaged the Ravens. I'm going to go Cincinnati 28, Ravens 21 in this game. I don't see Baltimore winning without Superman Jackson. I got the New York Giants 4-10 at the Philadelphia Eagles are a lot better team than 7-7. It's a 1:00 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports. Now, Philly's favored by 10.5. The over-under is 40.5. The Eagles coach Nick Sirianni has been away from the team this week after testing positive for COVID-19. The NFL says, so what? The games must go on. Iceberg, straight ahead. So if you can't go on Sunday, then you have a pass game coordinator, Kevin Patolo, who's going to take the head coaching route. It doesn't matter what he does. What matters is Jalen Hurts. If Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts doesn't have a turnover in this game, and Hurts has 2 turnovers on Tuesday night against Washington and 3 in the most recent matchup against the Giants, but we know all he needs to do is protect the ball, short passes, and run the ball, and I think they'll do fine. There's another stat that comes out of Las Vegas. It's a betting nugget. Now, New York is 0-3 against the spread in its past 3 games. 0-3 against the spread in its past 3 road games. Philadelphia 30, New York Giants 20. That's my opinion. I got to do this for my politically correctness. The Los Angeles Chargers, the Thunderbolts, the Chargers are on the road. They're 8-6 at the Houston Texans, 3-11, and it's 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. And now the Chargers are -10 in this game. The over-under is 46. They might get 46 on their own. But actually, Texas plays pretty decent football, even though they're not going to win. But think about what happens in this game. A bold prediction, the Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert will throw for over 400 yards. Going to throw for over 400 yards and maybe even 3 touchdowns. He needs 2 passing touchdowns to tie Phillip Rivers' 2008 record for the most in a single season in Chargers history at 34. He needs 106 passing yards to join the great Kurt Warner and the great touchdown Patrick Mahomes as the only other quarterbacks since 1950 with 8,500 passing yards and 60 touchdowns through 30 career starts. Isn't that something? He's going to do his thing in this game. Now, this is what I'm paying more attention to. Betting coming out of Las Vegas. Houston has failed to cover its past 3 home games. Chargers 44, Texans 20. It's going to be a beatdown, in my opinion. Now, this game is also sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meat? I haven't even told you the game yet. But it is the Detroit Lions 2-11-1 at the Atlanta Falcons 6-8. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports. Atlanta's favored by 5.5. The over-under is 43. In a real fight, a lion with maul of Falcon, and everybody knows that. But this is not a real fight. Atlanta's probably going to win. In the past 3 games between the Lions and Falcons have come down to the last play of the game and end it with at least some element of weirdness, penalties, clock mismanagement, etc. But I'm going to go with the Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts has 847 receiving yards this season, the 5th most by a rookie tight end in NFL history behind the great Mike Ditka, 1,076. And then Jeremy Shockey in 895, I believe. And then the great Keith Jackson, 869. And then Charlie Young of 854 out of Edison High School in Fresno and USC. Now, I'm telling you, the betting nugget gets my attention. Detroit is 9-5 against the spread this season. They're 8-2 against the spread when getting at least 4 points. It's also 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 games. But I'm going to go with the Falcons winning this game 24-21. Just because I think Ryan's a better quarterback than Jared Goff. We have Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets. The Jaguars 2-12 at the New York Jets 3-11. 1:00 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. Now the spread is only 2. Okay? New York's getting 2 points. The over-under is 41.5. I'm not going to give too much in that game because they're not that great. But the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jets, Zach Wilson, won't throw any touchdown passes this week. They'll probably each get 1. But 2 will combine for 4 interceptions. I'm going to say they'll each get a touchdown pass. They've thrown just 15 touchdown passes this season. Only 3 since November. But I'm saying something's got to give in this game. The betting nuggets, both teams are 4-10 against the spread. 2 of the worst marks in the league. I'm going to go Jets 17, Jaguars 14. Just my opinion. The Chicago Bears at the Seattle Seahawks. This game is sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meat? I already told you, a bear and a Seahawk, they're exotic. Exotic meats. 4:05 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports. Now, Seattle's favored by 6.5 And I like that because I just do. Both quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, are dealing with ankle injuries. They're expected to play on Sunday, but are recovering from a short week. I still think Russell Houdini Wilson is going to do his thing in this game. Now, Seattle receiver Tyler Lockett's returning from the reserve COVID-19 list. He'll catch probably about at least 60 yards in this game. He has to, because they're going to have to throw the ball. Man, that's hard to go against the Seahawks in this game. The Bears edge rusher Robert Quinn has 16 sacks this season. He'll probably get 2 more against Russell Wilson because he'll run into the sack. The third most in a single season in Bear history, even with the 85 Bears. He's also the second player in Bear history to have his 6 sacks. Think about that, sack in 6 straight games. Roosevelt Colvin had 8, I think he had an 8-game streak in 2001 and 2002, so he'll get his thing done. Now for Seattle, DK Metcalf hasn't been a top 25 receiver once since returning from week 9 because he's had some issues with whatever's going on with their chemistry. Betting Nugget, Chicago's only 2-9 against the spread as an underdog this season. Then underdog now, Seattle 24, the Bears 17. The Steelers at Kansas City, Steelers 7-6-1 at Kansas City 10-4. It's a 4:25 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. Kansas City's an 8.5-point favorite. The over-under is 45. The Chiefs have to protect touchdown Patrick Mahomes. But here comes the Steelers in that steel curtain defense, who are second in the league in sacks. The Chiefs' left tackle, Mr. Brown, Orlando Brown Jr., played against the Steelers' edge rusher T.J. Watt several times. The Browns with the Ravens, when he played with the Ravens, and he knows what a challenge it could be. I just see Kansas City's running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, rush for 100 yards for only the 3rd time this season. They got to run the ball against the Steelers and not just force it to be touchdown Patrick Mahomes. Now the Steelers quarterback, Big Ben Roethlisberger, he's 7-2 against the Chiefs, including the playoffs. That's tied for his most wins against any non-divisional opponent in his career. Not going to happen in this game. Not going to happen. The betting nugget out of Vegas, the Steelers coach Mike Tomlin is 43 wins, 25 losses, and 3 ties against the spread in his career as an underdog, including 17-6-1 against the spread in 2018. That could be a scary game for Kansas City, but I think Mahomes makes enough plays. I'm going to go with Kansas City 28, Pittsburgh 24. That's my number, and I'm sticking with it. I'm going to go the Denver Broncos 7-7 at the Las Vegas Raiders. They're 7-7 at 4:25 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. Now the over/under is 41.5, and it looks like the Raiders are 1-point favorite. They went from a no line to one, kind of bouncing back and forth. Can the Broncos quarterback Drew Lock find success against a Raiders defense that sometimes doesn't want to play football? I think the key in this game is for the Raiders quarterback touchdown Derek Carr. Can he have over 250 yards passing? He lit him up last time when they played up in the Mile High City. I don't see anything that's going to change. Carr's going to probably throw for over 300 yards in this game and maybe 3 more touchdowns. I'm going to say the Raiders are going to get the win at home. Having a come from behind win at Cleveland and kick the game-winning field goal is going to give them a lot of confidence. No, Bridgewater is not playing this week for Denver. I think that hurts them. Raiders running back Josh Jacobs has more catches this season, 47, than the previous season high with 45 targets. Think about that. At least 3 catches in 7 of his past 8 games is going to help the Raiders also. Now the betting nugget, Denver is 28-18 to the under with Vic Fangio as his coach, including 11-3 this season. The Raiders get this win because they got to. I'm going to say Raiders 21, Broncos 16, just my opinion. Washington football team, they're 6-8 at the Dallas Cowboys, 10-4. 8:20 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on NBC Sports. Dallas is a 10.5-point favorite. I don't like that. That's a trap game, in my opinion. You have just in your own division, 10.5 points. I don't see it. The over-under is 46.5. The Cowboys can they also locked up a playoff spot on Thursday night. Can they clinch the NFC East title with a win? I think they'll win back at AT&T Stadium. They're averaging 36 points per game at home this season. And if they don't have turnovers, they just haven't been clicking on all cylinders. I think a stat to know, Dallas rookie linebacker Micah Parsons is the real deal. Has 12 sacks this season, which are tied for most by a rookie in the past 10 seasons. The last rookie to do that was Aldon Smith in 2011. He had 14 sacks. I think the Cowboys are motivated. Washington is 1-5 against the spread against teams with winning records in this season, but they're 4-1-1 against the spread in his past 5 games as an underdog. I'm going to go with the Cowboys because I'm more motivated. They average 35 points at home. Cowboys 35, Washington 21, even though I contradicted myself on the point spread. But I'm going to go, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. The Miami Dolphins at 7-7 versus the New Orleans Saints. Monday Night Football, 8:15 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on ESPN. Miami's a 1.5-point favorite down in that dome. You just saw how the defense shut out Tom Brady and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They love playing teams from Florida. Dolphins are something else. It's hard to go against New Orleans at home. But this is something to think about. The Dolphins start at 1-7. The Saints have lost 5 straight games in the middle of the season, yet they're here at 7-7 with playoff spots on the line for both of them. The Saints are at home. It's hard to go against them. Tua Tagovailoa going into the dome and winning with that crowd noise. I don't know. I think they're still riding high from what happened by Tampa, shutting out Tampa. The Dolphins have a 6% chance to make the postseason. They got to win this game, but the betting nugget, New Orleans is 2-6 against the spread in primetime games in the past 2 seasons. 1-3 against the spread this season. The Dolphins, man, they've been on a winning streak. I'm going to go Dolphins 21, Saints 17. Maybe they're riding high after what happened in their game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's Big C's thoughts on the NFL preview for the Christmas Day. Merry Christmas. And a ho-ho-ho! Hopefully Santa, they'll have a happy Santa, not the naughty Santa that gave me the finger today and Saturday. We're going to take the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. When I come back, we're going to cover the NBA basketball. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, we are back from the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 20 podcast applications all over the universe. Appreciate that. For Saturday, December 25th, NBA basketball. There's no game scheduled today for Christmas Eve. They'll make them play on Christmas. Atlanta will be at the New York Knicks. That's a 9 o'clock a.m. tip-off on ESPN. Boston will be at Milwaukee, the defending NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks. That's 11:30 p.m. tip-off on ABC Sports. Golden State Warriors down in the desert, the best two teams record-wise in the NBA. Golden State at Phoenix, 2 p.m. tip-off on ABC Sports. Brooklyn will be at the LA Lakers in what's called a marquee matchup, potentially anyway, depending on how many players are out of COVID protocol. A 5 p.m. tip-off on ABC Sports, and then Dallas at Utah, 7:30 p.m. tip-off on ESPN. So the NBA is going to go full steam ahead over the holiday weekend, and I'm just wishing everybody to be healthy. Who knows what's going on with COVID? I hear that New York City had I think they said it doesn't even make any sense to say the numbers is high, but I think they were saying about 1,000 police officers called in sick based on COVID. So who knows what's going to happen with that? But some NBA news on Christmas Day storylines. LeBron James is poised to break Kobe Bryant's record as one of the top performers all time in NBA basketball for the holidays. When you think about what's going on, Christmas Day is going to be an important day for the NBA calendar as the holiday serves a major showcase for the NBA and all their players. It's going to be 12 straight hours of action spread over 5 different games, and the COVID cases are going to be what they are. But the Hawks at the Knicks going to be a compelling rematch of what happened in the playoffs last year, and given how they played in the playoffs last year, what a great game. Hopefully the Falcons will be nicer to both teams. The Celtics and the Bucks, that's 2:30 p.m. tip-off. The Celtics seeking their 3rd straight win over Milwaukee. We'll see if they get that. The Warriors and Suns at 5 p.m. class, East Coast time. A battle of the NBA's top 2 teams. Steph Curry dropped 45 last night against Memphis. Want to see him do his thing also down in the desert and Phoenix. Now, the Nets versus Lakers, 8 p.m. tip-off. LeBron James eyes a Christmas record. Will have a chance to make some more NBA history on Saturday as he enters LA's matchup with the Nets just 12 points behind the late Kobe Bryant on the NBA's all-time Christmas scoring list. And when you think about the players that have been big-time players on Christmas, from Kobe Bryant to LeBron James, Oscar Robertson, there's a lot of good things going on in that game. So hopefully everybody will keep that in mind as we pay attention to a very Merry Christmas. I'm going to do an abbreviated show because I said it. It's time for Christmas. May everybody have a very Merry Christmas all over the great New Year coming up soon. I just want to wish everyone from Big C Sports a very Merry Christmas and a safe Christmas. Spend time appreciating everything you have in life because life is so precious. As I always tell you from Big C Sports, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day and a Merry Christmas.